Gio, it's time for our kind of annual State of the Team preseason chat. I'll start with your off-season. I know you were able to get back to Italy this year and did some work when you were there, it sounded like. What was your off-season like?
First of all, it's good to have you here in Tucson in our preseason with a beautiful view, perfect weather conditions, and it's good, just to catch up. The off-season was very short, but it was good. Had the chance to be able to be with family, with my mother in Italy, and with the family we had also the chance to watch a few soccer matches and watch some trainings, get to talk to some people about soccer, and it was definitely a productive one.
Yeah, that off season was short because you guys made MLS Cup, of course, the season ending in penalties in MLS Cup. As you've reflected on last season, how have you processed 2021 for the Portland Timbers?
Yeah, first of all, I'm a person that reflects right away on the things that I could have done personally first in order to see how, I can be better. And you watch that final, it was unbelievable. The energy, of the fans playing at home, that goal of Mora in those final seconds of the 90-minute, in knowing that we had the opportunity to win the game, in overtime, because we felt that we had the game and we just let the game go. And in PKs, it was tough. Credit to them. They had the personality to be able to step on the PKs and win the match. Credit to them in the first half as well, that it was tough. But looking at the year, it was an interesting year, very interesting year, because if you look at from July to the end, it was probably the best season the Timbers have ever had. But then when you look from July coming back, it was a lot of up and downs with the injuries and and some of the results that were not great, and we did fairly well in the Conca Champions, and we competed very well with teams like America, and then we were too much up and down. But once we found the stability, then we broke records. We made it back in the final. We lifted another trophy because it's not to forget that we won the West Championship, and now he's trying to work again to try to get back to the final again. But there's a long way to go, and we need to prepare very well.
As we enter this season, one thing that has struck me talking to you and hearing you talk over the first weeks of the year is you've called this a transitional season a couple times. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I've been saying transitional because when you miss and lose some players like Diego Valeri, you have some of the players that Clark, and it's a transitional year because this team has been together for the time that I've been here, and yes, we have had some changes since I arrived. Like before, it's always part of the every year. But this feels more of a transition, and yes, I think Diego Valeri is that important. He's been very important for this club, and not having him in this club, it means that there's change, there's transition, there's something new. Even though we have kept a good core of the players, but it feels like a transitional year because no Diego, no Clark, and some other players as well.
And Diego Valeri, back to Lanús for this season. What I want to ask you about him is his impact on the club as a whole and his 9 seasons in Portland. How did those 9 years in Portland help set up the club for this time when he's no longer a Portland Timber?
Yes, big credit to him because I remember I was talking to Gavin even last night when he arrived to Major League Soccer to Portland. I was working for ESPN. And there was many of the journalists that were there, and some Argentine that were saying, finally, we have a player that is going to change MLS, a player that has come too young to MLS, and it's exciting that now we're seeing these type of players coming. So I remember having that conversation at the ESPN headquarters in Bristol, and then having the opportunity to see his impact in Portland. It's been phenomenal. He's been a quality player. He's been a representation of this club. Of course, like Diego Chará, like Seba Blanco now. This club have made some important signings like Adi, Fernando Adi. So he's part of that group that has made an important mark on this club in order to make Portland be the team that has been so competitive in Major League Soccer. So not having him here, it feels strange. It feels different. And he's been an important component. So last year, I know that it was not easy. I had to make difficult decisions. And this is, the part of a coach that is not an easy situation. You always try to find the best way to manage a team, and I think you have to also separate the person and the soccer. And unfortunately, he now is no longer with us. My biggest desire would have been for him to have retired in this club, which is what I think is always maybe from my romantic part of looking at the game that way, because I think what he has done in Portland has been outstanding.
One of the reasons why you had so many difficult decisions last year is because of the depth of this team, and that there's still so much depth on this team, and even maybe more with guys coming back from injury, Eric Williamson, Andy Polo. How much confidence do you have in the group, and kind of where is that step forward now into this season?
Yes, so we have made a decision to go on the route of making a roster that is very competitive. So that's something that is being done on purpose, because I believe Gavin, everyone involved, in making sure that we build a team and that we have competition in every position, and that make me make difficult decisions, but I think keeps the intensity, keeps the check on players that they have to stay at top of level in order for them to play in the system that we play. And I think this year, if we have guys healthier, we can also do things as we did in 2018, in which we were a little bit more versatile in changing a little bit more systems. We did it last year, but on a necessity base, and sometimes it didn't work very well in some moments, because we didn't even have the chance to work so much in those moments. But we want to have a team that has at least two very competitive players for position, and that's how we want to build the rosters. That's how we have built the roster so far, and we still have work to do in order to get there.
One of the challenges that you'll face from an injury perspective right away are Luis Mabiala, Dario Zuparic, each having surgery that the timeline puts them back, beginning of the season, but maybe not for the opener against New England on February 26th. How do you prepare for that match, knowing you may be without your starting center back pairing from MLS Cup?
I guess the best way to respond that question is I thought that in 2020 I will have for the first time, a normal start of the season. And the pandemic came about, so you can expect, always something happening from the beginning, and not having Mabiala and Zuparic most likely for the first match, because, I think they're still recovering. There might be a possibility, I will say, for them to start training close to the match, but it is a, very long shot that they will make that match. We have to prepare for it. So we have, Zach McGraw, we have Tuiloma. We are looking for another center back that might arrive in time to be available for that match. And the center back has a exact the profile that we're looking for is very defined, and it's not easy to find. So we're looking through it. We're trying to see it, and that's one of the players or the positions that we're looking to fulfill in the next few days, hopefully.
And finally, as we kind of take a big picture look at 2022, the season to come, what do you want the identity of the Portland Timbers to be in 2022?
I think is the team that we have shown to be. I think we always have seen a Portland Timbers being very resilient, tough to play against, a team that is always dangerous, attacking. For the past 2-3 years, we've been one of the teams that have scored the most goals. But I want to see, also that we didn't concede as many goals as we did from July to MLS Cup. I think the past 2 years we have allowed teams to be able to be in some moments to find good solutions in some moments. So we want to be stronger as we were in that period of time. We want to start from the start being that type of team. But I think it's just being the same in regards to being tough, being always a team that can, feel that it never gives up in every match that we play. And of course that grow in so many different areas. We want to continue to grow in possession. We want to continue to grow in scoring more goals, being stronger defensively, being as good as we were from July to MLS Cup in defending set pieces, being tough attacking set pieces. We want to continue to evolve and be better in every area. But the good thing is that we have a good locker room. We have a good group. The group is all aligned to, on the same path, and everybody's excited about this year.
We look forward to watching you guys in 2022. Gio, thanks for the time.
Thank you.